When the Dalai Lama walks into a room or into a situation, the Dalai Lama always sees the miracle first and the emotion second. And if you think about if you could train your mind to look at the miracle first and your emotion second, how you would deal with things may be a little bit different. Shep Gordon's life is amazing. And he's got a documentary called, They Call Me Supermensch. And it's a documentary, it's also a book. And to see his life and how it unfolds in the book and the documentary is like truly amazing. Because like most success stories, Shep finds himself as a young man busted, got nothing going for him in his life. And he ends up getting in his hoopty car and driving out to LA, and he's got a suitcase full of drugs. And so he drives out to LA, suitcase full of drugs, gets a hotel room, and gets high. And he wakes up from that high, and Shep hears screaming outside. So he runs outside and is going to save this lady who is screaming at the top of her lungs. And come to find out, it's Joplin, just having a good time. And Shep walks and looks around the pool, and you probably couldn't write this any better. And Shep Gordon walks out there, and not only is it Janis Joplin, it's Jimi Hendrix, it's Jim Morrison of the Doors, and they're very early in their career, man, and they're all living in this sleazebag motel. And at first he becomes their drug dealer, and they're young, and they said, why don't you become our manager? And so he becomes their manager. He becomes a lifelong manager for Alice Cooper too. And they don't do anything by contracts, it's strictly by handshake. And Shep Gordon is big on relationships. And so when you read his book or you watch his documentary, it's really fun to see his life kind of spread out. Today you find him, he's got this huge spread in Maui, mansion, and it's right there on the Pacific Ocean, deep blue water. And you look at him, he's really got a cool spirit about him, because it's kind of, you look at a guy like that, or you watch the documentary, and he's really at peace with himself. And you kind of look at him and you're like, that's the kind of life, that's the kind of guy I'd like to be. And today you find Shep, he hosts dinner parties, man. He has a diverse group of people that come out to his house in Maui. A lot of them are who's who. Some people you don't even know who they are. And they come out to his house in Maui, and he hosts these dinner parties. And all it is for everybody to kind of laugh, have fun, and get to know one another. There's no business arrangements, none of that. It's just have a good time. And he ended up, as crazy as his story is, he ends up cooking for the Dalai Lama. And he said in his relationship with the Dalai Lama, when the Dalai Lama walks into a room or into a situation, the Dalai Lama always sees the miracle first and the emotion second. And if you think about if you could train your mind to look at the miracle first and your emotion second, how you would deal with things may be a little bit different. And so, Shep has taken this lesson forward in his life. And so he said that now anything in his life, he always sees the miracle first and the emotion second. So if he gets mad, he sees the miracle first and the emotions are second. So if a contract is not in his favor, he sees the miracle first and the emotion second. And if you think about in your own life, man, where things aren't going in your favor, where the odds aren't in your favor, and sometimes it may be you and your main squeeze are getting into it, your boo, your bae ain't rocking right, man. Maybe it's the fact that you had a bad month, and you're mad and you're upset. But if you could just think if you could train yourself to see the miracle first and the emotion second, how things may be different in your life. For instance, hot water heater gives out. And you're all pissed off. It's the worst time this could actually happen, you know. And you already had bad months, so this just adds just more to it. And you got to run off to the store. You got to hire somebody to put in that hot water heater. But if you see the miracle first, the fact that you're living in a custom-built home, and the emotion second. See the miracle first, that you're living in a custom-built home when at one time you were in a one-bedroom apartment with a window unit. And it's like the neighbors walked 24 hours upstairs. It was roach infested. See the miracle first and the emotion second. Or maybe your kids piss you off. They piss you off. I mean, they're ungrateful. I mean, everything you do for them, and they have no idea what you do for them, and how dare they. See the miracle first, emotion second. The miracle for the fact that, number one, you brought them into this world. Number two is that they look just like you. And number three, the miracle that at least you get to deal with this situation. There's some parents who won't have that miracle of being able to see their children ever again. Miracle first, emotion second. Or maybe you had a bad month. Worst month ever. And dude, I've had these situations like this, man, where I had a bad month. But, and I was premature, and so I get mad, I get all pissed off, and not only do I take it forward, man, I take it out on, when I come home, I take it out on everybody who I work with the following month, all the customers. I'm just liquid fire, man. I'm just all upset. But if I would train myself to see the miracle first and the emotion second, the miracle for the fact to see how far I've come, that even on a bad month, dude, I still make 5 times more than I ever made. The miracle first, the emotion second. Because I remember at one time when I made 5 times less, I was grateful for that. And sometimes, man, we just keep stacking. We keep building these things up in our lives, and we miss out on the miracles of our life. And it's all emotion. Everything we do, man, it's just all emotion. And we want to deal with these things all emotionally, man. But dude, you miss out on the miracle first and the emotion second. Or maybe you find yourself, I don't know, you're 80 pounds overweight. But the miracle first, man, that you see how far you've come. The miracle that, yes, you're 80 pounds overweight, but you've already lost 44. So you're almost halfway there. The miracle that at least, dude, you get to do something about it. Where there's a lot of times the people that they were shoulda, coulda, woulda, they were supposed to get around to it, but they never got to see it. You find them dead in the recliner. The miracle that you get to deal with that, and you get to handle that. Miracle first, emotion second. Or maybe in your relationship, man, your main squeeze needs your help around the house. And I get the fact, dude, you pay all the bills. I get the fact that you work long hours. I get all that. But the miracle, man, that you actually have somebody in your life that is truly a ride or die. And I've learned the hard way, man, that you can't make someone be what you want them to be in your life. Either they are or they aren't. And so you could see the miracle that you have somebody who is truly that now. And they bring peace into your house. Miracle first, emotion second. So the fact that you can take 10 or 15 minutes just to help out every now and then. I can do that. Miracle first, emotion second. And it's not, dude, it's not that you suppress the anger. It's not that you suppress any sort of emotion that you have, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, whether you're depressed. It's not that you suppress it, but what you have to think about this, man, as you move forward is imagine walking into a dark room and there's a spotlight. You know, those spotlights, and it's got a circle in the middle. But all around it is all pitch black. Well, that circle represents the emotion. But just imagine if you would step outside of that circle, and that way you could take in the miracle. And you step outside and you look in that room and you look at the miracle, how far you've come, the accomplishments. and you take in the miracle for what it is. Miracle first, emotion second. So that way, when you can take in the miracle, when you can step outside that circle, man, you can step back into that circle. When you take in the miracle, you can step back into that circle and deal with the emotion differently. Anger, bitterness, frustration, whatever it is, miracle first, emotion second. And speaking of the emotions, if you find yourself at a loss, maybe the thing that you've lost in your life, and you got to keep this in mind, maybe you don't see the miracle right then and there, but maybe what's been taken from you in your life is to free you up so that way you can have the miracle of having more, better, down the road. So as you rock out today, man, when your emotions try to flare up, whatever that emotion is, think about Shep and deal with it. See the miracle first and the emotion second. Be the bull. Remember, the greatest sale you'll ever make is to sell you on you, because you're more than enough. Have an amazing day. Stay in the sales life.